First, the USDA's Justice for All non-discriminatory statement, which simply states that all persons must be treated equally without regard to their race, color, national origin, sex, religious creed, disability, age, political beliefs, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity, and that our institution provides an inclusive space for all. For more information on the And Justice for All statement, please visit the USDA's website.
Hi everyone, my name is Brian from FCHS, Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Gloucester County, here with another Family Foodie event. The program that we're doing today is made possible through a grant from New Jersey Department of Health and New Jersey SNAP-Ed. So for today's class, we are talking about go, slow, and stop foods. And we're also going to do this nice, basically like a summer quinoa salad recipe that's really tasty. So when we talk about go, slow, and stop foods, for go foods, these are ones that we want to eat a lot of. We can basically eat them, as much as we want, and these are mostly fresh, whole foods. So the recipe we're doing today, it's basically all go foods. So some good examples here. We have some peaches, we have corn, avocado. So all fresh, whole fruits, vegetables. Other examples, right, when we use our My Plate here. So besides fruits and vegetables for grains, think of like this recipe, it's quinoa, so that's going to be a great go food. Brown rice is another example, whole grain pasta. And for like dairy foods, think of like, just regular milk, like a skim milk. Would be a great example of a go for the dairy section. So then after go foods, we have slow foods. So slow foods are minimally processed. So usually they can still be a healthy choice, depending what it is. So a great example here, like instead of a whole like piece of corn like this, it might be canned corn. So right, so it's been processed a little bit, might have some sodium added to it. So still good for us. And then maybe another example, right, using our My Plate for our grain section. Maybe instead of that brown rice I mentioned, maybe it's a white rice, right? So it's not whole grain, so it's not as healthy, doesn't have as much fiber in it as a go food does. And then instead of like a fruit, say like an orange would be a go food. A slow food version, that would be like orange juice. Okay, so still good for us, but you're not getting as much of the benefits as eating a whole piece of fruit. And then for the dairy section, maybe like a yogurt for a slow food. So it's been processed, not as good as just like a regular, like a skim milk, right? All right, and then that leads us into our stop foods. So stop foods are ones that are highly processed, and I want to try to avoid those, really as much as we can. So a good example, instead of corn, would be like a cereal just made from corn, right? So that would be a stop food. And then instead of like our quinoa or our brown rice or white rice, it would be like a rice kind of cereal treat would be an example, right? So more of like a food that we're not going to eat too much of. Instead of like the orange or the orange juice example, a stop food might be like an orange soda, right? So not really from the fruit itself or anything like that. And then instead of like looking at our, again, thinking of My Plate, like our dairy group, instead of like a milk or a yogurt, it would be like a piece of like sliced American cheese, right? So highly, highly processed foods that, well, it's okay to eat sometimes, but we don't want to eat too much of them. Alrighty, so I think that leads us into our recipe for today. So this is a great recipe. It's a summer quinoa salad. So the first thing you're going to want to do is prep your quinoa. So I did that. Just follow the package directions. Takes about 15 minutes to cook, similar to rice. And just put that into a bowl. So I have that prepped already. So we have our quinoa there. I have a few things already cut up. So I do have some cherry tomatoes, about 1 cup of those. So we're going to go ahead and add that right into our bowl here. I also have half a cup of chopped up basil. Go ahead and add that to the bowl. And then I also have about half of a red onion diced up. So we'll go ahead and add that to the bowl as well. Okay, so we have 3 things we just added in there, so we'll just mix those up just a bit. It's going to be a nice colorful salad. Great using some fresh veggies that might be growing locally for the summer here. Alright, so it's already looking nice and colorful. Alrighty, move that out of the way for now. Next up, we'll do the peaches. So the peaches are great. You can get local peaches in New Jersey this time of year, which is very nice. So I have one already cut up. So I'll just show you how we're going to slice up another one. So very easy. Just make sure to rinse these ahead of time. And we just want to watch out for that core in the middle. Okay. Perfect. Go ahead and discard that. And then we're just going to do some slices, nice and easy like that. As thin as you would like. This one's a little bit more ripe than the other one I cut up, but that's alright. Always curling our fingers. Okay. And just one more piece. Alrighty, perfect. Alright, so we have all of our sliced peaches there. We'll go ahead and move our bowl over and just put all these right in the bowl. So this will add a nice sweetness to the salad. Be nice and fresh. Okay. So we got our peaches in there. Next up, I did, again, I cooked this ahead of time. So using fresh corn. You cook it for about 10 minutes in boiling water, and then you take it out. It's good to go. So again, corn is simple. I showed this in a class last week. So it's already cooked. It's cooled. We're just going to cut the kernels off. It's going to go around 4 times to each side. And it comes off nice and easy. Awesome. Okay, so that's all set too. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that. And I'll just put all my corn in the bowl here. Kind of break up any pieces. It'll break up as you mix it all together. Okay, so next up I have an avocado. So it is made sure it's nice and ripe, all set. And this time I'm just going to actually, could squeeze it out. I'm just going to use a spoon just to try to keep it all intact as I'm slicing it. Let's get rid of that little piece there, okay. And then with the seed, right, we just got to make sure we scoop the seed out. Okay, and it's going to do the same thing around, just trying to keep it so it doesn't get too squished up. Okay, perfect. Alright, so I have my 2 halves of avocado, and I'm just going to go ahead and slice this kind of thin, just similar to how I did the peaches. And the avocado is nice and ripe, so it's going to be very soft as I'm cutting it, you can see. We got some nice slices there. Go ahead and do the other piece. And it's okay if it breaks apart. Still be very tasty. Let's get a couple more pieces here. Awesome. Okay, get those. Alright, so let's go ahead and add all of our avocado to the bowl here. Avocado's a little bit messy. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Okay. Alright, so we basically have everything except for the dressing in the bowl right now. So we are gonna give this a good mix. Looks like we had just enough room here for everything. Alright, looking good. Breaking up any, just some bigger pieces of corn in there. Alright. Awesome. Okay, so you can see there, it's looking nice and colorful. We got a lot of good healthy foods in there. It's going to taste really great. Last thing that we're going to do is add in our dressing. So again, I just mixed this ahead of time. Basically all it is, it's like 1/4 cup of olive oil, We have a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. We have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. We have a clove of garlic minced up, and just a little salt and pepper to taste. Just whisk that together, and it's good to go. Real simple. So we're just going to go ahead and drizzle this right over our salad here. Alrighty. And then we'll go ahead and just mix that up, make sure it's all coated in the dressing. And then it's going to be good to go. Smells really good. Alright. Awesome. Okay. So just make sure it's stirred up real nice, and then you're all set. So you can just go ahead and store this. You can eat this at room temperature. You can refrigerate it for a bit if you want it a little bit colder, but it is basically all set, ready to go. This is what it looks like. Very good, nice and colorful. Got a lot of our My Plate groups on there as well. All right, but that is it for today's class. So thank you all for tuning in today. We will be back on Thursday for another lesson. We're going to continue talking about go, slow, and stop foods. And for Thursday's class, we're going to do a whole grain pasta salad recipe. So I hope to see everybody then.